welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to be breaking down a EURUSD trade that actually took place on yesterday. Now, I didn't make a trade breakdown on yesterday because I had two videos already uploaded for you guys and I wanted to give you guys more content throughout the week. So we're going to go over this breakdown today, and I'm also going to go over my current day trade today as well, so feel free to look at the future videos. So this trade here was posted on my Instagram story. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram at TrillionaireMac, usually I will post my day trades on a daily basis unless I just seem to forget or unless we're in a higher time frame trade and I'm waiting for it to hit target. But if I ever day trade, more than likely I'm going to post my trades on my Instagram story so you guys can not only see how your analysis matches with mine, but also if you did miss a day trade, then hopefully you can go back test and see why I hit that specific trade, okay? Especially if you're a student of mine, if you're a part of the course and things like that, then really seeing me apply that information live time will definitely help. Now, let's go ahead and get into the M15 Intraday Trade. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you guys on board. And if you are someone who hasn't yet commented whether or not you like the white and gray background, okay, for my charts, or whether you guys like the red, blue, and white. All right, let me know. I'm kind of sticking to this here, the white and gray. All right, but let me know what you guys like because this YouTube channel is really for you all. So let me know what's easier on you all's eyes, what will hold your attention, things like that. All right, so with that being said, sit back, relax, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are not a part of the YouTube family. Would love to have you aboard, and let's get into it. All right, so if we are starting on the M15 time frame, let me just get rid of this really quickly. If we're starting on the M15 time frame, that is usually the time frame that I use in order to intraday trade, okay? Sometimes we will be at a higher time frame H4 point of interest during our trading sessions, and if that is, if that takes place, then fantastic. But usually when you're intraday trading, you're not always going to be at an H4 point of interest. There's just no way. The markets would have to move so much in order to create a new point of interest and then, 24 hours later have price come back to that same point of interest. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you do have to tweak your strategy just a little bit if you want to focus more on intraday trading, all right? So we can see here that this was my point of interest that I was playing from. This is where demand came into the market in order to push price to the upside. This was the apex of this entire push here. All right. So when price came back down to this area, essentially during my New York session, okay, I'm simply going to look to see how price reacts to this M15 level here, right? Now, there were actually two entries that took place on the lower time frame. I'm going to go over the entry that you guys will see on my Instagram story if you go check it out before it disappears, and I'm going to go over the proper entry that most of my students were able to take, all right? So with that being said, let's head down to the lower time frame and let's see what's going on. By the way, as it relates to time frames, if I'm intraday trading on the M15 time frame, if that's the time frame I'm looking for my zones, I'm going to be taking my entries on the M1 time frame or lower. Now, on the YouTube channel, okay, I'll only talk about M1 entries simply because I know some of you guys may not have like 1 second, 5 second, 15 second, 30 seconds. So because you guys may not have those time frames, I'm only going to stick to entries around the 1 minute, but I do go to the 30 second, the 15 second. I don't really dabble with the 5 second yet, but as you guys know, the more you're trading, the more comfortable you get with these lower time frames. You will be able to use even lower, such as 5 second time frame or the 1 minute time frame or the 1 second time frame. All right, but for the YouTube channel, we'll just go down to the 1 minute, and that should be good enough. So if we go down to the 1 minute time frame, let's actually place this here because I don't want to go too far back in time and things like that. All right, and then let's just get rid of this for now, just so this can be clean and clear. There we go. So if we go down to the 1 minute time frame, which I'm going to do now, okay, essentially we're going to go over the textbook setup first, and then we're going to go over my entry second. All right, so for my students as well as any individual that has purchased the course, okay, this was the perfect setup for you guys to take advantage of. With spread and everything like that, you guys were probably tagged in, probably hit your take profit here, so we'll just extend that just a little bit. All right, but here's the setup. So price runs to the downside and we tap into our M15 point of interest based on how I select my points of interest. All right. Now, if you're someone who doesn't understand how to select your points of interest, feel free to join the mentorship program, join the Telegram channel, or just go ahead and purchase the course. All right. It's completely up to you. Okay. Or you can continue to watch these YouTube videos, and eventually your eyes will be trained to spot these things on your own. Right. But this was my M15 point of interest here, and I'm simply just looking for an M1 reaction. I'm looking to see how the minute time frame is going to react to this area. Now remember, throughout this area we are in New York session. Okay. Now there are specific times that I tell my students to trade, and for any of those students who signed up for the group webinar this evening, we had 317 spots. I believe we have 19 spots left. So we only have 19 spots, students, so go ahead and take up those 19 spots to join the group session, but we will be discussing a little bit more in depth of session timing. Okay, and when you should be looking for an entry and when you should be sitting on the sidelines. So we will go over that for sure. All right, but within this area, I'm basically looking for my entry schematic to take place. All right, for those of you who have the course, you guys know how that looks. So we see a sweep of liquidity to the downside here. Okay, then we see price. We know that we have some type of supply here that was responsible for taking out this demand here. All right, we know that there's demand here because we have instigated equal lows. All right, remember, price is moved by an algorithm, so what we do is we're able to see specific things that take place with price in order to take advantage of a trade. It's the same stuff that takes place over and over. You just have to look at it in the right area at the right time. All right, and that's what I teach you guys how to do. All right, so we see price runs on this liquidity here. Instigated equal lows means that there's liquidity resting below this area, right? How do we know that? Because we know that individuals are trying to place buy positions here, which is why this area was protected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times before price fails. Okay. Now, with how I teach you guys are not going to get mixed up into this. You guys are not going to be taking buy positions here and then seeing that price runs down. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? We have patience. So we see that that area is swept with this move to the downside. Nice, right? We then know that we have some type of supply resting here. All right. We have one failed reaction here. Price has not closed bullish above the supply region. Then we have another failed reaction here. Price has not closed bullish above this supply region. Then what happens? Then demand comes into the market here to take out this supply and create this higher high, right? After that, all right, we simply just waited for price to trade back into the demand that was responsible for taking out that supply at our M15 point of interest. And then we see that price pushes to the upside, all right? Now, for first targets, okay, I'm not going to talk about when to go break free and things like risk free and things like that, right? But for first targets, you could have easily targeted this supply zone here, okay? That would have been around 7.64%, not bad at all. Let's actually saying that just a little bit, 7.72%, not bad, all right? Once this zone was broken with a candlestick body closure here, you weren't looking for any type of sells to take place. So as you guys can see, okay, I started to have my schematic load here, okay, with this horizontal line. But once we closed bullish above this area with a bullish candlestick, I knew that price was not going to react to this supply level and it would be a supply failure. All right, so this was our first opportunity, but once you see a supply failure take place, then you can feel free to extend your targets to the next valid zone based on how I select my points of interest. So we can see price trades up here, and we collected a total of 12.44% on this trade from the textbook entry. So this is the textbook entry. Now let's go over my entry. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm actually going to do this entry live for you guys, mark up this live. I know some of you guys like to see that, so here we go. So in this case here, this is all based on personality when it comes to trading. Now, students of mine, I will show you guys exactly why I decided to do this, okay, if you guys have that type of question. But for everyone else, this is just my personality as it relates to this specific trade here. I don't always do this, but in this case, I did. So in this case, I was paying attention more so to structure than to supply and demand. And once I saw that structure piece was broken, I was actually on the 15-second where this closed bullish candlestick, all right, here. And I was looking for what was responsible for that bullish candlestick closure there, right? So my entry opportunity took place here. Okay, so this was the demand that was responsible for taking out our structure here, okay, with this nice move to the upside. And one thing about it, once you guys join the mentorship program or purchase the course, you'll see how it's really just a pattern that takes place over and over and over again. And it's the easiest thing in the world once you understand what's happening, right? And we see price trades back down into this area. This is where I took my buy position. This is where I had my stop loss around 3 pips. And our target was as so, right? So we got into the market a little early, well, earlier with this trade here. But as you can see, with this trade here, for any student who did take advantage, the stop loss was smaller. I believe it was 2.5 pips, if I'm remembering correctly, which I know I am. I don't know why I said that, right? 2.5 pips, and then we can see the target was here, right? So if you're trading like this, right, taking the textbook setup is always going to be your best bet. In this case, it was not only the best bet, but it was also a higher return on your money, right? It's not always going to be like that, right? But at times it will be. Now, this here wasn't a bad entry at all, but this is a little bit more advanced, okay? And this entry here is going to take place extremely quickly, all right? It normally doesn't take place as slow as it did here, but price, took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 6 to 7 minutes to hit our entry model. Usually what happens is, right, we'll see this break to the upside here from this demand that was responsible, and then price will wick in and then continue to push to the upside, right? Let's delete that. Whoa. There we go. Right, so that concludes our breakdown of EURUSD. If you took the textbook setup, it was around 12.15%. If you took the more advanced setup, it was around 11.5% return on investment. Not bad at all. All right. With that being said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below, and I'll get to you as soon as possible. If you would like to join the Telegram community, where this morning actually we sent day trading point of interest from for you guys to use, feel free to also click the Trillionaire Mac trade spot, and it'll send you straight to my Telegram, where you can either ask questions, you can join the mentorship program, you can join the course, or you can join the Telegram community, where I give you guys my setups on a weekly basis with daily outlooks. All right. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Much love. Peace out.